Hello, Power Partners. Welcome to the informational barnyard and playground. This is Starstyle, Be the Star You Are, coming on the airwaves under the auspices of Be the Star You Are charity, produced by Starstyle Productions and brought to you on Voice America Media. I am your host, Cynthia Brian, and I am thrilled that you are with us today. We're going to talk about August gardening and pampered pets, kind of two of my favorite things. So I hope those are some of your favorite things too, because it is hot in our August gardens. It's just hot, 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 period. But what is growing? What is going? What is going to make it? So let me help you go a little bit deeper and find out what to do in your summer landscape. And then, as far in segment two, we'll talk about pets. They are critical members of our human families. More money than ever is being spent on gifts, celebrations, and gourmet food for our furry friends. And the roles our pets play in our daily life strengthen our bonds and increase our joy. So, we're going to hit that up and discuss more barnyard and more family pets. The miracle moment for today brought to you by Be the Star You Are charity. Visit Be the Star You Are at bethestarur.org. It's from Edward James Olmos. You're born to die, and in between, life asks you to do one thing. Be happy. I like that. Be happy. Well, it is hot August. It has been such a warm summer. Oh, and August is scheduled to bring on the heat even more. The hot days of this month actually showcase, though, some of my seasonal favorite flowers. Hooray, hooray, the naked ladies are back. When the calendar page flips to August and the days are long and hot, these gorgeous amaryllis belladonnas shoot their bare stems skyward. They're fragrant, trumpet-shaped flowers. They come in various shades of pink, and they are truly the highlight of my summer garden. At the end of spring, their lush emerald foliage, it kind of looks like agapanthus. It dies back to reveal these bumpy bulbs that just sit on the ground, waiting till the heat of August, where then they stretch their naked necks high, and that's why they're called naked ladies. They have no leaves on them, and they're just like this stem. And then at the very top is this absolutely just gorgeous pink lily. In Italian, belladonna translates to beautiful woman. And these nude lilies do not disappoint as the perfect summer stunner. They are South African natives. They require 6 hours or more of sunshine. They don't need much moisture. In fact, they don't even care about what kind of soil they're in. Dirt is fine. And it makes them really great for our dry climate. And also, on top of that, they're resistant to deer and rabbits, but the butterflies and hummingbirds love them. I tell you, these August hotties dance in the breeze on my hillside and beyond, and I keep planting more and more. Also hailing from South Africa, a terrific terrace choice is the firecracker flower Crocosmia. It's called falling stars or copper tips. You know, I love anything with the word stars in it. They're orange and yellow. Some are even a little bit red. They have also tiny trumpet-shaped flowers that open in succession, starting from the bottom and going up these really slender, strapped stems. And then they have foliage that's similar to gladiolus. I dig and divide my corms because they're corms, not bulbs. They're these, well, corms are like tiny little bulbs about every 3 years because when they get too crowded, the blooms are sparse. Since they are also not a desired deer dinner, I add corms to the hillside where the herds congregate, and I'll be doing this as soon as they quit blooming. Plant them also in full sun. They do like some humus-rich, well-drained soil for the best results. And then you'll find that the pollinators will just flock to the flowers. Now, if you have really heavy clay soil like I do, it will need to be amended. The next one on my list that I'm crazy about are sword lilies. These are part of the iris family, and you know them probably as gladiolus. They have corms as well. They're planted with the pointy side facing up in moderately fertile soil in areas that receive 6 to 8 hours of sunlight. And since they grow to 4 or 5 feet with blooms that can get to 3 to 5 inches across, gladioli complement shorter plants when planted at the back of the bed, and they usually have to be staked to stay upright unless other plants are keeping them up. Now the colors are they are incredible. They come in purple, pink, red, orange, lime green, white, even variegated varieties. And I give a shout out again to South Africa because that's where these originate from. Now, Brazil is making an entrance with an incredible specimen, Jacobinia. Now, many years ago, I snipped a stem from my grandparents' garden in Napa Valley and I plopped it in a container, and much to my delight, it survived and thrived. I didn't put it in water, I just put it in a container with soil and I watered it. Now, Jacobinia is aptly called Brazilian plume flower or flamingo flower, as this sturdy, upright evergreen. It produces these large, dark pink tubular flowers, and it resembles plumage or even a flamingo. Now, for years, it was a highlight of my containers. It did require daily watering. It is really thirsty, but it lived happily in a very large pot on my patio. But one day I cut a stem and I planted it under my lemon tree and actually close to my tulip magnolia in where it's going to get morning sunshine and afternoon shade. And I assumed it would stay small and just be a really pretty petals like an understory specimen. But instead, Jacobini is shot skyward, and those appealing plumes reached a height of 15 feet. They're higher than the tree. And the thing about the plumes is do not cut them off when the color fades or when the flowers wither, because they kind of turn brown and it looks like they might be dead, but they're not, because in a couple of weeks, the plumage comes out again in that same spot. So if you cut it back, then you're not going to get blooms. I think Brazilian plume flower is just a wonderful addition to any container where it can remain smaller, or you can put it in a garden bed where it can grow to a gigantic size, but you might want to put it at the back of the bed. Now, keep in mind, it does require the soil to keep moist, not soggy, but moist. And it is an exotic plant, but I do think this extra care is worth it because, again, hummingbirds are their frequent visitors. Now, I also wanted to share with you two trees that really rock my August days and nights, and those are magnolias and crepe myrtles. Now, the magnolia tree is one of the oldest flowering plants in history. There's over 200 species, and I fell in love with Magnolia grandiflora years ago when I attended an interior design conference in the Deep South. Now, Magnolia grandiflora grows to be a really tall tree with a height maybe of 60 to 80 feet and a canopy, of shiny leathery leaves. And they have these beautiful, big, creamy flowers that can span a foot in diameter. I started my sapling in a gallon pot, and then I planted it, not thinking it was going to get this big. I don't know what I was thinking. And now that tree supports me swinging in my hammock, and I watch squirrels scampering to the Japanese maples and the bees buzzing in the magnolia flowers because, yes, those flowers are huge bee attractors. So they must be getting they're making honey from them. Now, I will say the one drawback, the only thing that is a little frustrating is the falling leaves of mature trees are really messy, requiring consistent raking. So you don't want to plant your tree near a pond or a patio. I did plant mine near a pond and it just filled my pond with leaves. And so I had to actually net my pond to keep the leaves out, which is kind of crazy. When the trees are small, the leaves are no big deal because they're so big, you can just pick them up and put them in a bucket and put them in your compost pile. But they don't disintegrate very well. So you actually have to, I actually would run them over with a lawnmower, or chop them up. But now I have so many leaves. It's crazy. It is just crazy. So that's kind of green bin occupation. Now, when it comes to crepe myrtles, oh, how I love them. This low maintenance, high value blooming tree, it really ranks as my number one pick for summer color. Now, these trees are native to Eastern Asia, and they are referred to as the lilac of the South. They have dramatic flower colors, watermelon, pink, lavender, white, even red. This dynamite tree requires full sun and it naturally grows with multiple trunks. You can get it to grow singularly. I did that down my driveway. However, with this, if you want a single trunk, you have to do several posts, with the wire around it to make sure that it won't break off. On my patio, they're multi-trunked. I tried single. The wind just knocks them over. Their trunk isn't strong enough, but it's beautiful as a multi-trunk. And it is a kind of tree that is beautiful in every season because it is deciduous, but in the summer, it has beautiful, beautiful blooms that last for several months. And then the leaves fall off, revealing beautiful bark that's kind of peeling and interesting colors. Then when spring comes, it gets bright green color, bright green leaves. Oh, and I forgot what it does in fall. In the fall, the leaves turn auburn, yellow, orange. So you get beautiful fall color. So you get 4 seasons of beauty with this tree. So I think it's a winner. You prune it in late winter if you want to. It's optional. The actual name is called Lagerstromia. If you want to have a tree or a bush, you can keep it as a bush. Birds and pollinators flock to the trees. My favorite are the watermelon crepe myrtles because I really love that bright, bright pink color. I think they're really flamboyant. They make great focal points on my patio. I also have lavender bush crepe myrtles in my flower beds, and I heavily prune them after blooming to keep them small. So I just like to keep those kind of as round mounds and let them bloom. Now, of course, there are many other beloved bloomers in my summer garden, including my radiant roses, but I have to say the naked ladies, the falling stars, the gladioli, the flamingo flower, the magnolia, and the crepe myrtle are August hot, 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 hot picks. So if you're looking for something that is going to give you just great color when the weather is so hot and nothing else wants to grow, you just heard it. And you can find this information on my website. By the way, I'll be putting out a Starstyle Empowerment newsletter this next week, and I will have photos of them and the list of them, but also at cynthiabrian.com. If you go to the blog or you go to garden articles, you'll be able to find it. Now, I also have a garden guide because I'm the goddess gardener for August, and I'll just quickly give that to you. So you want to protect your edibles and all your garden plants from our deer by erecting a fence. I mean, sadly, deer repellents are only mildly effective, while plants that are highly scented or fuzzy, they won't keep the stags at bay. And I get calls all the time and am asked for guidance on deer. And I have to just say the only thing that's going to keep them out is a fence. Now, deadhead your flowers and roses to encourage additional flowering. Harvest your summer vegetables and fruits, Asian pears, tangerines, tomatoes, squash, peppers, cucumbers, blackberries. Those are just a few of the delicious edibles ready to eat. I noticed that even my apples are almost ready to be picked right now. Mulch is a sunscreen for roots. So you can add 3 inches of mulch to retain moisture, stabilize soil, cool the roots, and suppress weeds. Pour boiling water on weeds on pathways and driveway cracks to kill the hard to remove weeds. Or you can also spray with 30% white vinegar. I use both. And since it's really hot right now, I find the white vinegar is the easiest. You can buy it at a hardware store or online. It's about $30 a gallon, I think. And I don't dilute it. I just put it in a spray bottle and spray the weeds in the cracks. And in the sun, and the next day, they're usually gone. Now, dump standing water to prevent the mosquito larvae from hatching. According to the CDC, the mosquito is considered the deadliest creature in the world. It kills 1 million or more people every year by spreading malaria, dengue, Zika and yellow fever. And yes, these diseases are pretty much everywhere right now. So you have to be careful. Threats of tick bites are at a 9-year high, bearing numerous illnesses. So you want to apply bug spray that contains DEET, DEET. Wear long sleeves and check yourselves and your pets after gardening, hiking, or being outdoors. And after being outdoors, you really do need to take a shower, and really look over yourself because you don't want to have a tick on you. If you're going on vacation, turn off your main water valve, and because broken pipes are ubiquitous. And I can just say from experience, even if you even have a leaky valve or something, I had a dishwasher not go off while I was just gone for a couple of days and ruined my floors. I'm in the process of having to replace floors right now. So just the plumbers say turn off the main water. Save seeds from your favorite perennials, including zinnia, marigold, and echinacea. Next month, I will do a column about how to save seeds, so you can look forward to that. You can order your spring blooming bulbs that you'll plant in fall from your favorite catalogs or nurseries now. Suggestions include tulips, narcissi, hyacinth, scilla, anemone, muscari, and Dutch iris. And make sure if you are in a wildfire zone, inspect your residence and yard for wildfire prevention. The resilience begins with neighbors working together, and make sure you have your go bag ready to roll in case of evacuation. And something interesting, if you want to peek into backyards while you're traveling, you can go to the gardenconservancy.org. They have a garden directory for open days. And the fun thing is there are gardens that participate. The cost is $10 for members and $5. No, I think it's the other way around. $5 for members and $10 for non-members. So water deeply in the morning and evening to avoid evaporation. And I just wish you happy gardening, happy growing, and try to stay cool in these hot August days and nights. When we come back from our break and a business bite, we will be talking about pets. You're listening to Cynthia Brian. This is Starstyle. Be the star you are. I'll be right back. Visit cynthiabrian.com during the break and check out some of the flowers and stuff. I'll be right back. Stay with me. Are you the type of person that is afraid to take a vacation because you think you'll lose customers while you're gone? Or do you constantly check into work when you're supposed to be on holiday? Relax and take a breather and take a true holiday by informing your clients and customers before you go about your plans. There are a few tips that could help your business continue while you are enjoying yourself, and you need that time out. It's a well-deserved time out. A month before you leave, let your most important clients or customers know that you're going to be out of the office or business for a certain amount of time. Ask them if there's anything you can arrange for them now. Have a person they can contact in your absence if there is an emergency, and introduce that new person to them. Put your email on auto vacation responder, giving people numbers or contact info and dates of your time away. And if you have voicemail, which pretty much most people do now, create the message that gives a firm date when you will return their call. And most of all, go on your vacation. Take a trip, rest, rejuvenate, reinvent yourself, and have fun. You'll be a better business person because of the renewal time you have given yourself. And you can always share photos and travel tips with your customers. They might appreciate that. Remember, you're the star of your own performance. Turn your passions into profits. I'm Cynthia Brian with another business bite from Starstyle. For more information, visit Cynthia Brian, that's Brian with an I, .com. Well, we are back. You're listening to Star Style, Be the Star You Are with me, Cynthia Brian, brought to you under the auspices of Be the Star You Are charity and coming to you on the Voice America Media channel, the Empowerment channel. Well, for those of us who have pets or animals, they are part of our family. We have parties for them, we dress them up, we give them great food, you know, we probably decorate them. But things about our pets is that this we are in the rise of the pampered pet. For those of you who have been listening to my show for any time at all, you know that I have a barnyard filled with adopted, abandoned, or sometimes abused animals. And I just I love them. Do spend more money on my barnyard animals than I ever do on myself. Whatever it is that they need, they get. And I think that people who have pets are the same way. So a lot of people say, oh, that might be a little over the top, giving, a lot of people give their dog, their cat, their guinea pig, their bunny a birthday party. But, hosting a birthday party for your family, your pet, your dog, your cat is normal by today's standards. Americans are actually now spending 157 billion, B with a B, like boy, on their pets. Much of it, of course, is on premium food and little luxury things, toys, things that were maybe once reserved for human. I mean, there are even, there's spas for pet spas now. Behind the boom is a deeper cultural shift in how we define family and actually the roles that our pets play within it. I have a friend who has a dog who is never left alone. She has a babysitter for her dog when she's at work. If she and her husband go out to dinner, they hire a babysitter for the dog. Or if they can't take the dog with them, they hire a babysitter. So the dog is never, ever, ever alone. Now, that's not me, but some people that is the way it is. So it was the pandemic that really created the pet boom. The shift really accelerated during the COVID-19 pandemic. Nearly 1 in 5 US households adopted a cat or a dog during that period. I know my daughter's family, they adopted 2 dogs from rescue. As Americans spend more time at home, though, many turned to pets for their companionship and emotional support because they weren't at the office with friends or colleagues. And so their animals became their friends, their colleagues, and their family. With that whole thing about remote workers also found themselves able to care for their pets in ways that they weren't previously possible. They had the time to walk with them, to teach them tricks, to play, to swim, whatever it was that the pet wanted to do. Now, pet ownership had already been on the rise. It's been climbing from about 56% of U.S. households in 1988 to 66% today. But pandemic lockdown deepened the bonds that people experience with their pets, and it really expanded the role pets play in everyday life. So nowhere is the pets as family member mindset more visible than at mealtime. I mean, feeding Fido is a real thing. A growing number of owners have moved beyond traditional kibble. They're favoring food, that's made with fresh, raw, human grade ingredients that costs a lot of money. I mean, it's as costly, if not more costly, than human food. Others are adding toppers like bone broth to enhance the flavor and to give their pets more nutrition. In fact, 42% of pet owners say that they are willing to pay more for premium food, while half say that they've tried making food at home for their pet. So there's pet cookbooks and you can make pet biscuits and all kinds of things. Also, this was something that surprised me. Supplements are really in high demand for pets, from joint support to calming aids, and particularly for younger owners. And among Gen Z, 78% of dog owners and 71% of cat owners report buying their pets calming products. And then speaking of calming products, I told you that there are spas, there are massages for pets, and of course there the baths for the pets. There are the remote where people come to your house. You don't have to take them to the salon anymore. So there are roaming salons for your dogs and cats or whatever animal that you want to have groomed. And then, of course, there are the parties. It's not just food because owners are finding new and often more elaborate ways to celebrate their pets. They have birthday parties, adoption anniversaries, Santa visits, and if you go on social media, of course, many, many pets have dedicated social media accounts. And even coffee shops are indulging in the trend, offering pup cups, which now is a real common offering. And some restaurants have, dog bowls and treats for the dogs if you're eating outside. So all this spending reflects the emotional investment that we have with our pets and with our animals. So the research from Chewy shows that millennial and Gen Z owners are the most generous gift givers, with 21% spending $100 or more on presents for their pets. At the same time, there are pet bakeries that are popping up nationwide, and they sell delicious confections that look less like dog treats and they look more like human snacks. um, I haven't tasted them, but they look just as good. So today's pets are more integrated into daily routines and they're deeply valued. We love our pets. It isn't just about indulgence, it's the way we humanize our pets. It reflects a desire for a connection and a meaningful experience that strengthens our bonds with our animals. And our animals give us so much in return. If you read my book, Be the Star You Are, 99 Gifts for Living, Loving, Laughing, and Learning to Make a Difference, I have several stories, true stories about my different animals. But one of the exercises is I talk about how, yeah, what I love about especially dogs or cats or any of your animals is they're so happy to see you when you come home and they bark, wiggle, and, they're just so excited and they never care how you look or how you smell. And they can tell if you've had a bad day and they just kind of nuzzle up to you. So pets are just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I feel that for everyone out there who is pampering their pet, you are just doing a wonderful thing to another family member, and they bring us so much joy. So carry on, my friends, carry on. Well, that's our show for today. I'm so glad you were here with me on Starstyle, Be the Star You Are. Make sure to tune in to our teen show on Sundays, Express Yourself Teen Radio at 3 p.m. Pacific. You can change your life. You can make your dreams come true. To make a donation or get in touch with Be the Star You Are charity, visit bethestaryouare.org. If you want to know more about me or Star Style Productions, visit cynthiabrian.com. My aim is always to encourage, inspire, inform, amuse, and motivate. I want you to see beyond your physical being and know you are already the star you dreamed of becoming. Cherish the past, dream of the future, and celebrate every moment of your life. And enhance your life, your days, your moments by reading a book. It's like a garden in your pocket. I've written 12 books. They're available at cynthiabrian.com. You can get autographed copies, and the money goes to charity to increase literacy. So good. It's a win-win-win all the way around. So until next week, when we celebrate right here in the Star Style Barnyard, remember that love always wins, kindness always prevails, and smiles will keep us happy. I am Cynthia Brian for Star Style, thanking you and encouraging you to be kind, be inclusive, tell the truth, live with integrity, embrace cultures, love unconditionally, encourage others, be generous, read, lead, succeed, communicate, collaborate, innovate, and most importantly, be your unapologetically authentic self because everyone counts. Go out into the world and be the star you are. I hope that you'll be with me next week because I'll be here. Have a good one.